Let's talk about the eclipse that just happened. If your social media experience is anything like mine, you saw a lot of people out there being really weird. People freaking out, people praying that the world won't end, and some even praying that it would. It was just really strange. I get that we're all animals and this kind of thing is really weird and amazing, but come on, humanity. This isn't Berserk. Nobody is being sacrificed. And no, God didn't tell you to shoot at some cars. And yes, that's a real thing that happened in, you guessed it, Florida. The eclipse wasn't going to cause whatever apocalyptic thing these people were dreaming up. Like this post on Reddit where someone is complaining that their stepdad covered all of their windows in their house in aluminum foil to stop the eclipse from killing them. People, please. It's just a really cool, spooky looking, naturally occurring event. So natural, in fact, that we know when the next one will be. And the next one. And yes, even the dozen that come after that. We have observed these things for thousands of years and can accurately predict them. But I will say, a lot of weird stuff did happen during the actual eclipse. Things we have footage of, things we can prove. Now this is what I find interesting. Not the fear-mongering death hype leading up to this normal event called an eclipse, but what actually happens when millions of people all look up at the sky and record it with their cell phones. So let's take a look at some of these fascinating clips. Before we look up, let's take a look at these beautiful shadows. The crescent moon shadows are my absolute favorite part of an eclipse. They just look so unreal, like we live on a different planet. When the sun is behind the moon, the shadow of the moon is casted down, and it creates these beautiful shadows. Absolutely gorgeous. Now we get into the really weird stuff. Look at this ominous red light witnessed by multiple people. What is it? I have no idea, but it's a pretty cool sight. When I walked out to watch the eclipse, all I saw was a bunch of vultures flying overhead. And then I heard non-stop police, firefighter, and ambulance sirens. As if the world wasn't feeling eerie enough during the eclipse. Also, just so everybody knows, the eclipse was seen over thousands of miles. So when these clips look like they're taken over different days and nights, they weren't. That's all the same day, it's just an eclipse, where it got really dark for some and stayed bright for others. Here's an incredible video of what looks like 3 moons. And I'm assuming that this is an optical illusion or some form of light trickery, but regardless, it's really weird. I'm waiting for a scientist to chime in here and tell me that this is totally normal. Then we get to the UFO sightings, the unidentified flying objects. And no, I'm not going to call them UAPs like every governmental agency and media company has decided to do over the last few years. Unidentified, anomalous phenomenon. No, it's an unidentified flying object. It's like they created the most wordy, forgettable term and expected everyone would just shrug and agree. Yeah, let's all call it this really boring term so no one wants to talk about it. Anyway, I have 4 different videos of these UFOs, so we're going to watch all 4 of them and then I'll jump back in. So check these out. Next is another UFO video, a slowed down version showing 2 objects flying by. This stuff is so weird, but will probably never be talked about again after this week, because the attention span of the world has been so weakened. It's like keys jingling in front of a baby. This stuff is incredible, and unfortunately, we're not going to get any answers. Another incredible sight were these sparkling lights in the sky after the solar eclipse. There was dozens of beautiful twinkling lights throughout the sky. Was it the sun reflecting off metal objects? Was it something illuminated in the sky? Were they pulsing lights? Were they UFOs? Who knows, but the video of them is stunning. And then we have the massive meteorite that entered our atmosphere during the eclipse and broke up. This huge fireball lit up the sky and eventually broke apart into dozens of pieces. This is but a sample of the many videos out there from the eclipse. I saw so many more that I couldn't find again in time to make it into this video. So if you got to watch the eclipse, did you see anything strange yourself? Let me hear about it in the comments. Until next time, never stop searching.